Record.
That's going to do it for Brent Honeywell. Dave Roberts.
Hopper, that is my guy. Guys, I've been bullying Rockhopper, and he's been so nice about it that he needs to give me 5,000 tickets. Hey guys, it is Friday. Happy Friday. I'm glad y'all made it to Friday. We have 13 days to Halloween, I think it was, which, you know, kind of spooky. I am watching the baseball game. We have a political commercial, and we know I'm not about that, but if you are in certain states, your commercial breaks are all this, either party. But so I had the baseball game on. It's pathetic. If the Dodgers want to play like that, fine, be my guest, but you're going to get hated on. And yeah, it's bad. And then I have Club Penguin open because I randomly was like kind of feeling nostalgic. And I do have a Club Penguin Legacy account, so you might see me on there one day. My username on there is not my username on here, but you know, you might come across me on there. You could. But I finished House of Leaves. I gave it a 2-star, and we're just going to go through what I do when I finish a book. So I did highlight it on my weekly page in my planner, and then on my TBR list, I marked it as finished. So right now we are just doing the book review page. I already wrote my Goodreads review, and I think it's going to be kind of fun if we go through other people's reviews and me just read these people's reviews and see if I agree, and just to get a better understanding of the book, since I did have a difficult time understanding. The title was House of Leaves. I would say this book is eerie. There is an eerie feeling. I hope I spelled that right. Is it spelled like the lake is spelled? That's how I spelled it. Power. We're just gonna put brain, because again, I can only use 3 words according to the prompts in here. This is from Owlcrate, if you're wondering. I don't have an Owlcrate subscription anymore, but I've loved their reading planners. They're right under y'all in this container. And I do actually look at my old reading planners, because some people are probably like, what is the point in having all these old reading planners? I don't know. But okay, why do all these other people get to juggle, but my penguin can't do that? I don't know why.
What about me? Do I need the clown shoes on? Maybe. See, this is really it, so... Okay, I put clown shoes on. Okay, and that worked. I have all these tabs off. I didn't do that. I still took my background off.
Okay, Tommy Edmund, do some stuff, please. But yeah, see, I get distracted so easily. I get everything done I need to get done, so it doesn't really matter, and these are not like life or death situations. I'm just having fun here. So another word to describe House of Leaves. Confusing. I honestly don't know what I read. So author is Mark Z. Danielewski. Our genre is horror. And my rating was a 2-star. I did the physical version, and I don't know what year this book was published in. I think the early 2000s, maybe 2000 itself. Yep, 2000. And I don't know what dates I read this. I know what day I finished it, because I finished it today. Did I start on Monday? But I don't even know what the date was on Monday. Was it like the 11th? It was Indigenous Peoples Day. So the 14th. Yeah, see, I don't know what day it is. So 10, 14 through 18. 24 is the dates that I read the book. So again, I gave it a 2-star. It was just really confusing. I don't understand what the purpose of this book was. Like, I told you all in another vlog what I think is happening, where I think, so these 2 guys, they move into an apartment. Their landlord is this kind of creepy old man, and he has this manuscript. They get their hands on the manuscript, and everybody who's read this manuscript goes insane. And that's my understanding. The manuscript is like an analysis of this movie. Yeah, so that's my understanding. And then like today was a bunch of random, I mean, this whole book is a bunch of random stuff, but there was letters between a mom and son, and I'm like, who are they? Why are they in here? Yeah, so it's really confusing. So we're gonna go to, I already wrote my Goodreads review, so if you guys would like to check it out, it is linked down below. But let's go to Goodreads and see other people's. This was my 115th book read this year, so I'm 91% of the way to my reading goal, which is awesome. And we are going to just go to ratings. We're going to start with 1 stars. This is how I read reviews. So Sarah's review is from 16 years ago. This is totally infuriating. It made me feel dumb, bored, and annoyed all at once. If I want that, I'll date my first boyfriend again. It never made me mad. I can understand why this book would make people mad or make them feel dumb. I personally never felt that way, and my computer battery's low, so hold on. I'm back, and I moved the light, so if the lighting changed a little bit, I saw this one would be a better direction. So yeah, I was like, where was I reading this? I was reading this on my phone. So yeah, I can see how it would make somebody feel all that, but I just didn't care that much because I didn't have a good grasp of what was going on. At least I don't think I did. So Cloud Hidden's review, this is kind of a longer one, and this is from 2020. Looking for a spooky book to read around Halloween. I was recommended this book by several others on a message board I frequent. Okay, same. It wasn't a message board, but from people I follow on social media. Quite a few people mentioned its brilliance and the fear it put in them. Same. After reading it, I could not disagree more. The story is a family moves into a home and begins noticing physical features of their house changing. They begin to investigate, which leads to a new doorway and hall appearing where there was not one. The husband, being a world-class explorer and filmographer, decides to document the new house, and is doing so creates a documentary a la the Blair Witch Project. But the book has a couple stories within the story. It is written from the point of view of some young slacker who breaks into this dead old man's house and takes the notes for a book the old man is writing. The book and all of the notes are his reactions to watching the documentary film. The old man's ramblings reads like a textbook, replete, I don't know how to say that, with tons of footnotes, fake references, poems, rantings. But we don't get to just read his reaction or simply walk through the documentary. We have to suffer through the slacker's constant juvenile side story. So I skimmed over a lot of like the slacker stuff because I was just like, yeah, I didn't care, so I skimmed. But I should say that was once I'd hit like the 126 page mark. I always give myself, I read the first quarter of the book, and that's when I know what I'm vibing. So I knew I was probably going to give this book a 2-star at that point. The premise is brilliant, and flipping through the book the first time, I was pumped at the prospect of the book. The effort Daniel put into this book is exhausting to say the least. I agree. This had to have taken countless hours for the detail to all the fake references, quotes, drawings, footnotes, but sadly at the center is a stupid story that goes nowhere. That's a bit harsh. I was never scared, but rather annoyed. Again, I wasn't annoyed with it. And like, there was a creepy feeling, but I wouldn't say I was scared. Because I know it's fake, so. And as soon as the story begins to move, we get a long-winded, worthless conversation from our main character. Yeah, I can see that. Nothing is ever explained nor finalized. This is seriously one of the most boring, meandering, monotonous books I have read. While reading the book, I found a message board dedicated to the book and its absolute greatness. It took all I had not to log in and question the taste and the objectivity of these people. But if they like it, who am I to pee on them? Okay. I do not recommend this book, but if you do read it and turn out to enjoy it, please enlighten me as to what I missed as I fought falling asleep reading these boring passages. Not to that extent, but I do want to know if I missed anything. Tell me in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, last 1 star here. This is about 4 paragraphs long, and this is coming from JS in 2013. More than anything, House of Leaves is pretentious. It does things against the grain just because they haven't been done before, not because they're necessarily good ideas. Yeah, I can see that. The book seems to take pride in trying its damnedest to give you a headache, and then expects you to like it. Unless Daniel Lewski is a sociopath and wants people to suffer while reading this, in which case I've misinterpreted. Okay. So House of Leaves gives off the impression of a modern art experiment, daring you to say it's pointless even as it flips the sentences sideways and has one word per page for a whole paragraph. I don't get what they're saying. I don't get the per paragraph part, because there were pages where, yeah, there was just one word on them, but I don't get per paragraph. Oh, maybe to build a paragraph, so it went like, say there were 20 words in the paragraph, 20 pages with just one word. Okay, I lost my spot, so we're just gonna scroll. One of the three sorta narrators used an absurd amount of foreign languages and obscure quotes. Yeah, I skimmed those parts to drag the story down even further. Yeah, the random stories about a sex life, I was just like, do I really need to read that? Do I? I am nosy about people's sex lives, so I did read some of it, but when it just kept going, I was just like, no, we're skimming. Okay, let's do 2-star reviews now. So, Mark in 2020, 1 part fascinating, 9 parts unbearable. See, I never felt unbearable, I didn't care. I may come back to this one day, if only to reread the parts that specifically describe the bizarre occurrences in this house labyrinth abyss. I think those parts were pretty good, maybe. Happy to skip revisiting the gimmicky and often laughably written footnotes, digressions, analysis, and especially to skip the trash story of Maudlin Johnny Trant, the latter of which sadly is both the heart and much of the body of the novel. I guess I'm more into its mind. Really, fuck Johnny Trant. He brings out the worst in the author. Yeah, that was what I read today, and I didn't get its correlation to the rest of the book. I think that was the old man, but I'm not sure. Fun with formatting didn't bother me and sometimes kept me awake, but mainly the book helped relieve insomnia. Nice title, though. Okay, Baba in 2022. Okay, this has GIFs and everything in this review. See, like, don't put GIFs in your Goodreads reviews. Like, we can't see all of that if we're on mobile, and the majority of the people I know who use Goodreads are on mobile, so don't recommend doing that. An amazingly multi-layered, chiller suspense story with lashings and lashings of storytelling, innovation, and creativity, and with copious footnotes and myriad text structures to further illustrate the stories. This book is also a big, bizarro genre flag bearer. The cult around this book is pretty intense, and when you really meet someone that loves the book, they really like it. The downside being that this book, which predominantly relies on word-of-mouth recommendations, has the tough job of meeting the very high horror expectations of the book's advocates. Okay, newsflash, it's not a horror read, although it's pretty compelling at times, especially with the suspense before some of it reveals. Overall, it's a case of massively overhyped book, which, although really innovative, lacks real cohesion. Another one of those books that may fare better as a reread. 5 out of 12. 5 out of 12 is a really strange way to rate things. But yeah, I agree with all of that. I don't intend to reread this book, but I agree with what they were saying. So this will be the last review that we read, and it's a long one. So it's from 2021 from Black Oxford. I don't know why it sounds like block is black. Science may be hazardous to your health. House of Leaves is certainly sarcastic. It uses a Borges-like found manuscript containing numerous pseudo-factual references to document the creation of a video production of questionable authenticity. The question is whether the book is frivolous or serious sarcasm. Frivolity, which would place it in class with pieces like the Blair Witch Project, which simply and openly waste readers' time with pointless, unrewarded anticipation, yeah. Although they may be where it belongs as a whole, there are parts that might in fact be a more... Okay, this is so pretentious, this review. I'm not reading the rest of that. So those are me reacting to those reviews. We will get into Witches Run Amok later at 9, but I did want to just let y'all know I finished the book. I'm going to go take pictures for Bookstagram, and my next TBR book that we will read on Monday will be Woe, A House Cat's Story of Despair by Lucy Kinsley. You can't really see me, and I don't have my hat on. Yeah, it's SpaceX, but okay, so we are out here. So I've been looking for the comet for days and have not been able to see that, but we also have a rocket launch tonight. There we go, you can see me with the light right there. So we do have a I don't know what that exposure thing's doing. Okay, we do have a rocket launch. Oh my gosh, it's not letting me. Things keep popping up, but we have a rocket launch. That's what I was trying to say, a SpaceX launch tonight, and it's really clear here. I was talking in the vlog yesterday about how clear the skies have been, so hopefully we get to see it. It's gonna be in a few minutes, but yeah, so tell me, can y'all see a comet back there? Can y'all see it? Because I can't. I've tried all weekend, have not been able to see it. It is crazy, so if I do it that way, no, it doesn't really change anything. So, oh, was it something with the exposure? How I kept clicking something when I was outside? I don't know. So I'm sorry if this lighting is bad. I don't like it. Hold on. I don't know what I did or if I did anything, and that's just the lighting right now. So, I read 33 pages in here, which is one chapter. And that went on a little too long for my personal taste. I did take a bath during the middle, so I did take some breaks. But this is Hocus Pocus, the oral history, Witches Run Amok. That's the main title. I don't know why I said the others first. So our first part of this chapter is about Binks the cat and how did they get him in the movie. So first they start out with like 20 cats that they got from animal shelters, and in Hollywood at the time, I'm assuming there still is, at Universal, they have animal trainers who train animals just for the purpose of being in movies. So they trained those cats because apparently you can only train a cat one thing, which I don't think is true, or maybe I just have smart cats, but they could only train each cat to do one trick, so that's why there had to be like 20 cats, and all those cats got homes after the movie, which is fantastic. So those they had a cat for like each scene basically, and then cats, they have a mind of their own. I mean, everybody has a mind of their own, but cats really just do their own thing. They're stubborn. So having these cats do these takes, it would take like 5 takes. It would take a lot to get the cat to like jump on the book and then swat his paw. And so they had to do some other things like animatronic cats, so which are like robot cats. And I'm really curious, is that like what? No, Yoda was a puppet, right? Because I was thinking of Star Wars, I'm like, all these weird, aliens in Star Wars, how could they do all that when that was like 20 years before this? There's a lot to think about with Hollywood. But they had animatronic cats, and they were, oh, and another thing, to get a cat to hiss, a cat has to be scared. And they obviously did not want to be scaring all these cats. So they would get a cat meowing, and then in editing, put a cat hiss sound effect over the clip so it looked like the cat was hissing even though it actually wasn't, so they didn't have to go scare all these cats. So they had animatronic cats, and this is in the infancy stage of CGI. So they did experiment with CGI a little bit, but it wasn't a lot like Jurassic Park that also came out this same year. CGI was something that was still relatively new. Another thing this chapter talked about was the flying, and because they're witches, they go on brooms, vacuums, if you will, mops, and how did they get those clips? Because obviously we still have flying clips today. Think of huge shows like Game of Thrones, that's probably the biggest show of the last decade. And they fly on dragons in that show. So I'm sure y'all have seen some of the clips of behind the scenes of Game of Thrones of how they do all that. So let's go back 20 years before, and these women were in harnesses, and these harnesses were jeans that they just cut the legs off of and bolted. They put metal on it, and it was supposedly very uncomfortable. Sarah Jessica Parker said it wasn't, but everybody else basically thought it was very uncomfortable. And now there's like these corsets that they do, and it's a lot easier and everything. But back then it was literally jeans and with metal and everything, and it was just very not like it is today. So they were doing that, and they had somebody on the ground controlling the ropes that they were on, and sometimes the ropes would be seen on camera, so you had to take pictures of every single moment so you could then edit it out. So that was very interesting. And then we have Billy the zombie, who had moths in his mouth, and how they went about having the malts come out of his mouth, because now that's something they would probably CGI, but back in 1993, no, that's not how it was done. He had legit malts in his mouth, and that is very gross. So that is all for Witches Run Amok today, and that is all for the vlog today. The whole time I've been filming this, there's like a square around my face on the camera, so I don't know what all of that means. So if I've screwed up my camera settings, all because of Elon Musk, can he come fix my camera? Because, you know, he's like, can do a lot of things. So evil genius, if you will. So yeah, I'm going to be ending the vlog here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it all the way through, leave a Halloween emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!